What if I told you that Arsenal's biggest hero in the North London derby wasn't even wearing their colours? This match had everything: Arsenal's title ambitions, Tottenham's new coach, and a shocking performance that left Tottenham in tatters. Let's break it down. This North London derby was similar to the match against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Arsenal played well, took the lead, but then made mistakes. Arsenal ignited some sparks that could have led to a fire, but this time there was a hero to extinguish the flames. This hero wasn't wearing red but white. That person is the focus of today's episode: Igor Tudor, former Croatian defender, a towering figure, and a Juventus player. Back then, I thought this coach couldn't put out fires. This time, he wasn't saving Tottenham, he was saving Arsenal. The reason I predicted Arsenal would win is this: even if I said the new coach wasn't good, surely there'd be something to see, right? When Ruben Amorim went to Manchester United early on, there was something to observe. But this time, it's worse than ever. Igor Tudor arrived at Tottenham, and there wasn't even a honeymoon period. From the start, it felt like the game was already in stoppage time. There's no better way to describe Tottenham today: lifeless. From the beginning, they were on the brink of collapse. If it weren't for Declan Rice's gift, Tottenham would have been completely overwhelmed throughout the match, never coming close to creating any meaningful chances. Rice's gift allowed Tottenham their first shot on goal, equalising 1-1. It seemed like something, but in reality it was nothing. In the second half, you might remember this moment. It was almost 2-2, but it was ruled out. However, that was essentially when someone jumps up. Even a slight push will make them lose balance and fall. Even the slightest contact is a foul, and it will always make someone fall. Of course, some say Gabriel Magalhães exaggerated his fall. That's normal. In reality, it was a foul, plain and simple. Does it matter how he fell? Tottenham had no way to fight back. If it weren't for Arsenal's gifts, there would have been nothing to see. Now, speaking of gifts, let's start with Declan Rice's gift. Everyone is tense in a North London derby, and there are careless mistakes. For example, the confidence-lacking Xavi Simons in the first half's backline organisation directly passed the ball to Leandro Trossard. Luckily, Trossard wasn't on form today. In comparison, Arsenal's players were much calmer. Martín, Zubimendi and Declan Rice shook hands, and the midfield controlled the tempo well. The first point was well managed. Unfortunately, after taking the lead, Rice became overly confident and gifted a goal. Just after scoring, he immediately gave away possession, allowing Tottenham to equalise swiftly, 1-1. If he had been more humble and passed it back to goalkeeper David Raya, nothing would have happened. But he intercepted the opponent's pass near his own penalty area, tried to dribble past two players, and was immediately dispossessed. That's how Tottenham got a close-range shot, a very difficult mistake to recover from. In the previous match, Gabriel and Raya clashing was something that could still be saved. Unluckily, missing the goal, but this time it was irreparable. Last time it was salvageable, but not this time, making this mistake much more severe. It seemed like Raya could have saved the close-range shot, but it was too close to expect such a quick reaction. This was Tottenham's only chance in the first half. Their only chance in the second half was also a gift from Rice. In the 83rd minute, Raya saved Richarlison's shot on the goal line. Rice had actually intercepted the ball, but he was overly confident, trying to control a high ball near the penalty area instead of clearing it, almost allowing Tottenham to equalise 2-3. Rice needs to reflect. In other matches, you can take more time controlling the ball, but in these high-stakes derbies, you shouldn't be so audacious. You'll need to be careful in the upcoming League Cup final. Arsenal's serious mistake allowing the equaliser was demoralising and could have sparked a fire. Luckily, Igor Tudor became today's firefighter. First, how did this new coach play at Tottenham? The defence was sluggish, constantly passing the ball around in the back without advancing. Though Tottenham was exhausted, Thomas Frank had already drained half the team's energy. They couldn't play fast, so they should have slowed down, which was my suggestion for the second half of the season. But hiring a 3 centre-back coach to play a 3 centre-back structure, listening to so much about Ruben Amorim's history, you'd understand. playing three centre-backs must be fast. It's the same for any team, whether Manchester United or Tottenham. Playing three centre-backs requires speed. Five defenders positioning hinders slow build-up from the back. The full-backs can't drop to help. They must push up to quickly advance past the halfway line. If you drop to pass, you can't help the defensive line. Three defenders are just three, and three isn't enough for passing. Look at Pep Guardiola's three-back transformation system. He transforms back to four defenders to pass, and then shifts back to three. So three centre-backs aren't suitable for slow build-up, yet Tudor did exactly that. Who in history did this and failed? Ruben Amorim. Amorim's slow build-up saw Manchester United drop even lower in the second half of the season, doing the impossible. And Tudor is following the same path. Another Amorim. Passing around in the back allowed Arsenal to easily press high and counter-attack. The fourth goal happened that way. Tottenham couldn't advance, and slow build-up was useless. Three centre-backs aren't suited for slow build-up or attacking. By the 60th minute, Arsenal felt at ease, hoping to boost morale with a thrashing, and indeed they won 1-4. Because Tottenham, besides organising Amorim's suicide tactics, also had Amorim's defensive line and originalism collapsing. Not enough for five defenders, forcing originalist five defence. Does the coach only know five defenders? Another Amorim. Playing non-centre-backs as centre-backs means the defensive line's point-to-point ability is weak. This was the first time I saw Victor Gyökeres play so comfortably in the Premier League. Even though Gyökeres usually scores against promoted teams against Tottenham, it was truly effortless. The easiest match I've seen him play in the Premier League. Why? Because today another firefighter wore white, his opponent, Romanian centre-back Radu Dragushin. Today, Dragushin transformed into Liverpool's scapegoat defender Dejan Lovren. When Lovren took over, he helped Romelu Lukaku shine. Today, Dragushin channeled Lovren, helping Gyökeres shine, transforming him into Gabriel Batistuta, not the fastest but willing to run with powerful shots. His play style resembles Gyökeres, but Batistuta's technique, shooting accuracy, and heading far surpass Gyökeres. But today, with such a great partner like Lovren, Gyökeres transformed into Roberto Baggio. Have you ever seen Gyökeres dominate the Premier League so effortlessly, being so precise as a focal point? By the 70th minute, Gyökeres made his first mistake. How terrifying is that? The second and third goals were entirely due to the five-defender backline. The second goal saw Gyökeres easily take the ball at the edge of the box. When he got the ball, he stumbled, but no one closed him down. Stumbling was even better. No obstruction, so he shot. They took the lead again, early in the second half. The third goal was also Dragushin's gift. When you head the ball forward from your own midfield, with no target, just the opponent, it's an instant counter-attack opportunity. Game over. And let's not just talk about gifts. Tottenham's other positions kept faltering, always losing the ball, failing to hold opponents, unable to clear, completely out of rhythm. As I said, from the start they were lifeless. First balls, second balls, third balls, all lost. From the start, it was chaotic, with the referee and linesman unable to communicate via walkie-talkie. Signals mixed up, like the first Morse code channel mix-up in Infernal Affairs. It took a while to fix, but it didn't help Tottenham regain composure or stabilise. It proved Frank had already exhausted Tottenham, hiring a three centre-back coach, only fast, only pushing, adding insult to injury. The team was already weak. Further applying aggressive therapy equals suicide, killing patience. Theoretically, Tottenham had a physical advantage. Don't forget, Arsenal played Wolverhampton midweek in heavy rain, very tired. Tottenham was well rested. Yet playing 5-3-2, even with more midfielders, they lost. Ineffective pressing naturally became defensive, and then there was no counter-attack. The first half hour was constantly waiting for the inevitable. In this situation, Arsenal's low crosses from the byline became guaranteed goals. Eberechi Eze in the box got the ball poorly but had plenty of time to adjust each time putting it in, because you always lost the ball. Second balls, contested headers, clearances, all lost, unable to clear, transitions in disarray, exhausted yet still forcing the play. At the 40th minute, something similar happened. Arsenal broke through the byline again. Tottenham couldn't keep up with the defensive rhythm, falling behind again, just a bit faster, and the lead widened. Trossard really had an off game. At half-time, 0-0, I thought he should be subbed off quickly because his passing measurements were off, his control was loose. The left side lost all firepower, leaving only Saka on the right. To win, you need both sides firing. If Noni Madueke were there, it would have been easy to score 2 or 3 more goals. After the 50th minute, with quick play, Trossard couldn't keep up. Then I thought if keeping possession was the goal, swap Trossard and Eberechi Eze's positions, but no adjustments were made. But however poorly Mikel Arteta managed this game, it didn't matter because the opposing coach came to put out the fire. Even worse, Tudor, trailing 1-3, kept 5 defenders, switching from 3-5-2 to 3-4-3. Amorim always played 3-4-3. Initially, he even added a layer with 3-5-2, more conservative. Being conservative isn't a problem, but falling behind in rhythm is. Amorim evolved. Amorim's first season mid-season takeover of Manchester United saw United drop even lower, doing the impossible. United's players were stronger, no injury crisis, no relegation. Now Tottenham is weaker, with an injury crisis, plus Amorim 2.0. Now they're only 4 points above the relegation zone. Could Tottenham be relegated? Also, back then sacking Erik ten Hag and hiring Amorim was a huge mistake. Now sacking Frank and hiring Tudor, is it compounding the mistake? Ten Hag wanted to focus on ball control, but the board and fans had no patience, so they sacked him. Amorim came and everything went wrong. History has proven it. No matter how you argue, Amorim fans need to stop. Manchester United sacking Ten Hag was definitely wrong, but interestingly, sacking Frank might not be wrong because he didn't help Tottenham slow down or improve rhythm. Continuing would have been just as bad. Sacking Frank wasn't necessarily wrong, but hiring Tudor is truly Amorim 2.0. Manchester United's was compounding a mistake. Here, it might not have been wrong originally, but now it's a huge mistake, worse than Manchester United. Because Manchester United's strength was somewhat intact, Amorim's suicide didn't kill them. But if Tottenham truly commits suicide, it's a big problem, and they're closer to relegation. For sure, Tottenham's relegation odds are higher than Manchester United's. Back then, I estimated Manchester United's relegation odds at 40%, less than half. Now Tottenham is infinitely closer. Could it exceed 50%? We'll have to see how Nottingham Forest fares. Forest lost to Liverpool. Is Forest worse off or Tottenham? Only one relegation spot left. West Ham, United, Forest and Tottenham competing. You just need to know if Forest's relegation odds are higher than Tottenham's. If Forest's are higher, Tottenham isn't as worried. As for Forest's situation, we'll discuss it later. So, what do you think? Is Tottenham's relegation a real possibility, or will they turn it around? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Premier League analysis. Thanks for watching. Welcome. Today we break down the tactical trends and the visual language for the piece. We'll use consistent red and white mapping and the telestrator to illustrate movement and danger. We reference these coaching archetypes to explain choices: slow build-up, compact pressing, and transitions. We also standardize how we show officiating interactions and communication faults. These comparison cameos help contextualize physical and technical attributes in our visuals.